What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Define All Odds podcast. It's your boy Rafa. You already know. Here we got on my right is Jesse, and today's guest. He's a senior at Columbia University. He plays for the basketball team. Here we have Kenny Noland.
What up, what up, what up?
All right.
Welcome.
What's up, Kenny? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Just happy to be here. That's all.
There you go.
You should, bro.
They appreciate you for coming on. So today we got a really special episode. Obviously, Kenny's gonna hop on, tell us about a little bit about his background and his story. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy, and Kenny lead it away. So tell us a little bit about your background, you growing up and that sort of thing.
Yeah, just quick little background on myself. Born in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, small town. People who don't really know, it's just not too much going on, but a lot of my buddies that way, just from a young age. But ended up moving just for more opportunity. Just that area is not necessarily known for, people don't necessarily make it out, be successful, that kind of thing. So me and my mom, I was going into high school, and we decided it'd be best to find a different place where there's more opportunity, basketball, school, whatever it is.
What
I was a
did you
teacher,
end up
so.
moving?
When?
Well, no, I mean where?
Oh yeah, moved to North Carolina.
Okay.
We were looking at
sweet.
different places, but Apex, North Carolina was like the place we settled on.
Apex.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just known for like good schools there, good basketball. So two things that I was trying to do at the time. So
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
For the viewers that don't know where Apex is that like closer to like the Charlotte area or Raleigh or?
yeah,
You
it's
gotta
like
go.
it's like a suburb of Raleigh. So it's like
Okay.
probably like 20-minute drive from Raleigh. Yeah, it's close.
I think I did see that exit when I was on I-95. You
Were
passed
you
by.
in Raleigh?
Yeah, I was by Raleigh. And you see the
Okay.
exit like it says, so to go to Apex.
Okay, well 919 with for Jesse, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, dope. That's dope. So you went from New Mexico to North Carolina.
Right.
And how old were you when you ended up never moving out there?
I think I was about 13, 14.
So you were like right before the start of high school? Or,
Yeah,
like, still
just
middle
about.
school?
I did my freshman year in New Mexico.
Okay.
And then right after my freshman year, I had left. So started my sophomore year in North Carolina.
What kind of led you to like North Carolina? Was there like any like specific coach that reached out to you, or like?
Yeah. It was kind of, honestly, it was a little random. So there's like a magazine that was released, like a little article, and my
Okay.
mom, we were looking at different places to move, and my
Yeah.
mom had a couple different job offers. Like she's a teacher, so different little spots,
Okay.
and it was like a magazine article we stumbled on, and it was like best small towns in America to live, and Apex was like number
Apex.
one in like
Wow.
2016 or something. So
Oh, okay.
we stumbled on that, and then so that's what we rolled with. so.
Hey, but where's the as they
That's
say,
what
that's
we
enough
rolled
for
with.
me, right?
There you
That's
go.
what we rolled with.
Okay,
That's all you
that's
need.
cool. Okay, and then so now fast forward, you are here in Columbia University, New York City.
Right.
Division I basketball player.
Yes,
Don't forget
as
that.
well. And tell me again, going from New Mexico to Carolina and now here. Those are three big changes.
Yeah.
Very
No,
different cities from each other.
Very different cities. While because North Carolina, while it has its busy areas, it also has its quiet areas.
For sure.
And I've never been to New Mexico, but as you mentioned, it's very quiet.
Right.
So what was it like transitioning to all these places and kind of like that? Like how were you able to adapt?
I would say it's funny. I always talk about it. It's like when I was in like New Mexico, I remember thinking like, oh, this is all I know, whatever it is. And then I moved to North Carolina. I was like, damn, there's a lot more people here than I'm used to. Like this place is populated.
Yeah.
Then I go to New York and I'm like, golly, this place is insane. Like then I visit New Mexico and I'm like, yo, this place is a ghost
A
town.
ghost
There's
town.
nobody here. So
Wow.
it's definitely funny just seeing like the different parts of like what I was used to changing. But all great places though for their own reasons. So yeah.
So you mentioned you finally get to North Carolina. You get settled in at your high school there. Could you like kind of describe like I guess the basketball scene there, like how it was different from New Mexico, and then how you eventually got to Columbia and got that recognition that you were finally looking for?
Yeah, it was definitely a journey. Like in New Mexico, there's just not much basketball like opportunity. I would say like players wise, there's not. Like I think when I was like in 8th grade, I was ranked like number one. Me and my boy as well, like number one in New Mexico for like the longest time.
Okay.
And then
wow.
I moved to North Carolina, and it's like, and being number one in New Mexico isn't necessarily like a huge thing to be. You know what I mean? It's
Okay,
kind of like
yeah,
but
big
I
fish,
mean-
small pond. It's like
Yeah.
Right.
But moved to North Carolina, it's like, to put in perspective, I think the last guy in New Mexico to go D1 was like Ryan Jones. And he was like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years ahead of me being
wow.
there. So like a lot of people don't go. And then my buddy, JB White as well, like my same year went. So it's very like uncommon. And then put in perspective, like North Carolina, it's like 70 guys, 50 guys go a year probably.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot more competitive, a lot more.
Yeah, no, I mean,
that kind
North
of
Carolina,
thing, so.
it's one of the bigger states when it comes to college basketball,
Definitely.
college sports
There
in
you go.
general.
For sure.
But I mean, especially when you have places like, I mean, damn it, I lost my train of thought. You know, what's the college again? North Carolina.
UNC.
Yeah,
Duke,
UNC,
State,
Chapel Hill,
all that,
Duke.
yeah, all that.
You got
I literally lost it.
No,
in my
yeah.
head.
Nah, for sure. Like, they got a whole bunch.
They got all of them, so it's definitely a big step.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, now from what led you to Colombia?
Yeah, bro. So, I mean, like I said, like when I was younger, my mindset was just like, I want to play the highest level of basketball possible. Like,
right.
I'm not thinking about academics, whatever it might be. Like, as bad as that may sound, that's what it was at the time.
Yeah.
Then COVID happened, so I like just had gotten a couple offers from that summer, like my senior year, probably late to the recruiting scene than like other kids. And I think my best offer was like UMass.
Okay.
And I was thinking like, oh, I want to go to UMass. I just want to play basketball, like 8-10, whatever it is. And then COVID, so we couldn't take visits. So I ended up taking a postgrad year to take visits with the like intention of like, oh, I'm just gonna try to get more offers that are better basketball, and then just try to go to like a best basketball school possible, like whatever it is. And then I went to Hotchkiss, which like it's like very academic compared to like what I'm used to. Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hotchkiss.
Middle of nowhere out there, Connecticut. Yeah.
And that's where you played with one of your teammates,
Rope, right? Yeah. We didn't play together, but like we met each other like in passing almost. Like the year I left, he went in.
Okay.
And the Hotchkiss community is like super tight, so like you know like even like I'll know people that are years out from me that I'm like cool with just from, you know what I mean?
It's dope.
So yeah, it's super academic, and then honestly the pressure of being there almost like made me realize like what an Ivy really is, like what it could offer, that kind of thing. Like how many of those kids are like really smart, fighting to be like a school like this, and I'm like, damn, like I'm really looking like I'm not looking at it the right way, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, so that's kind of what shifted me, and that's a big part of why I'm here for sure. So
would you say like that kind of preparation at Hotchkiss kind of like prepared you kind of for what's to come now here at Columbia? Because here at Columbia, you're not just a Division I basketball player, you're also a student here.
Right.
And with that, you know, you have rigorous commitments that you have to attend to. So what's that like kind of find that balance here? Or are you kind of already used to it kind of with the preparation you got from Hotchkiss?
I would say definitely. I think honestly without Hotchkiss, I think I'd be messed up my freshman year. Like it'd probably be, yeah, for sure. Hotchkiss was honestly, I say this a lot of times, like people who ask me from Hotchkiss who are about to go to college, I'm like, Hotchkiss was harder than like Columbia, I think. Columbia is hard.
Really?
But Hotchkiss was like, for no reason, it was like hard. Like you take like an art class and they'll load you with homework. Like it's,
this is
bro,
like,
yeah, it's bad.
And this is like the in between the high school and college, basically. So
and that's kind of their goal, is like to try to prepare you in that sense. But it was definitely like, it was good for me though, for sure. Just because in my other schools, like before that, I wasn't doing much homework or that kind of thing. So it was good.
You wouldn't say you were very like academically
focused
student?
I wouldn't say, like, honestly, I'd say I was always like somewhat, like not to sound like whatever, but I was always like somewhat, like I do well in school.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily like be like, oh, I'm trying to do well in school. It was just be kind of like,
you found the easy way out.
Right. Like I was good at like getting things done and just like turning it in, whatever.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like I was like grinding. And then I got to Hotchkiss, I was like, oh crap, like I need to like actually like work to do well. So so.
Okay. All right. So all right. Well, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, you're in Columbia, so I mean,
right.
And there's a lot of students.
Somehow it worked out.
Listen, I remember when I was a kid, I used to say, "Yo, the only college I want to go to is either NYU or Columbia."
Yeah.
And I ain't getting any of them. So listen, you.
Hey, but you're still doing good though. You're still balling nonetheless.
We dead chilling.
CCNY.
CCNY, City College. We're repping for life. Don't forget 145th Street. There you go.
Yup.
All right. No, it's on 135th. Anyways, back to you. Okay. But all right. So, is there any other place that you traveled outside of these places we mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, basketball will take you some crazy places. Like with Hotchkiss, we did a trip, fully paid, went to Germany. That was after that, yeah. That was sick. And then after my freshman year, as a team, we went to Switzerland and Italy. And then,
yes, they did.
Yeah.
So for the viewers that don't know, obviously, Geronimo G is my roommate, one of Kenny's teammates. They also went to was it Switzerland?
Yeah, Switzerland, Italy. That was
a good trip.
It was fire. Like they paid for everything and like money in our pockets from like it was sick.
How about hiking too, right? Like
like went to like the Swiss Alps, like all kinds of like a lot of tourist stuff, all kinds of things.
Look at that.
And then this past summer, I went with some other guys from like the Ivy League and some other like D3s. And went to China.
Yeah. To China. Okay.
So
what was that like?
It was different, bro. I would say like out of any place I've been, like out of all the places I just listed,
Yeah.
China's like the most. It was definitely like the biggest culture shock.
Really? Why is that?
Just like everything's different. Like all the things that you're used to, like even the basic things like Netflix, YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah.
Like it's all different. Like Uber, they don't have that. It's like their own
version of it.
Their own, like it's the same thing but own version. So like even like credit cards, like I'll be trying to pay for stuff. They're like, oh, we don't take credit card.
What?
You have to take cash out.
Like it's like weird. Like it's like different things like WeChat they use.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. It's
They use
like
WeChat instead of
super
WhatsApp.
mega
Yeah.
app that like
It does everything.
Yeah.
But I was like, I couldn't pay for stuff. I'm like, bro, like I don't even know how to like.
just take my money.
I'm like, bro, I'm trying to give you like,
like, forget about giving me my money. Take my money. Like, bro. Like,
real though, real.
Okay.
So it was definitely just different for sure.
And you went to the Great Wall of China as well?
Yeah. That was sick.
Okay.
Saw the photos on Instagram.
Yeah,
We'll have it tagged down below in the description. Check out Kenny's Instagram.
Hopefully get a couple followers. We'll see.
There you go.
And off camera, you mentioned something about why you were in China.
yeah.
A little story you mentioned to us.
A little background.
I was like, nah, we got
Free our boy Kenny.
For real, free me, man.
Free
me.
Kenny.
I'm here now though.
How about you tell the people what happened in China?
Yeah, so while I was in China, a great trip. I was there for like a week and a half. And it was great until we went out to like this bar, a little function, and I lost my passport.
Hey.
And big no-no in China, you need a visa to go to China. So I lost my passport with the visa in it.
Oh
no.
So then I took an extra good week or so to try to get not only a new passport, like an emergency passport to come back, but also the visa and then the processing of the visa. And mind you, like no one speaks English. So like I had to have a translator with me the entire time.
So you're going to the American Embassy for that?
American Embassy, yeah.
Wow.
Different. Oh, bro, this story's insane. I'll be here all day talking about it, bro. I was bouncing around.
We still got some time. Okay.
But
How long did the process take for you to never like get out?
Bro, yeah. So we had like, I'll say in total 4 or 5 days. And at first they were telling me it could be a month.
Oh.
And I would have I'd be there I think right now I'd still be there.
Wow.
Like trying to be back, yeah. So, but luckily we were visiting a school there, Tsinghua University, and they've got like a lot of pool in China. It's like the best, like they call it like the Harvard of China, kind of.
Okay.
So what was it called again?
Tsinghua.
Tsinghua. Okay.
Yeah.
Tsinghua.
So they were able to like give us a lot of like help and like be like, oh, it's kind of our fault. It wasn't their fault, it was my fault, but it was able to help me at least like expedite the process a little bit. So
okay.
So you would have basically missed out on the start of the practices for your Ivy League season.
I'd probably be getting back like around this time if I didn't have like an expedited process.
It's a lot of running you're missing out on.
Bro.
That's crazy.
I was stressed, bro. There was a good 2-3 days where I was stressed.
I
can imagine.
I can only imagine. And especially being in a place like you said, it's such a culture shock where you can't even give them your money.
Well,
like,
and you're not even used to like walking around the area either. So it's like
No, that's another thing too, is like if you're American, one thing. If you're like African American and you're walking around in China, like no matter where I can't tell you how many times you're just walking around, people are like,
just words.
It's like, yeah, just like in shock.
That's crazy. I've heard of that too.
That's
like
crazy.
when you go to places like that where there's predominantly not a lot of African Americans or just people with our melanin.
Literally, yeah.
Literally, they look at you like you're like Michael Jordan as
Bro, they do.
like,
and we're all basketball players, like NBA. We're like, at some point we just started lying. We're like, yeah, like I'm Curry. He's like da da da. Like,
oh, you didn't pull like
lying.
I'm in the G League. Like,
no, they'll believe you. Like, oh, really?
They'll be like,
okay.
did you get anyone to ask for your autograph?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, like no one's seen. They probably ask anyone. Like
that's crazy.
They probably
I'll go in there and I'll be like, I'm Big Papi, David Ortiz.
Bro, they'd probably. I promise you, they ask for your autograph. You'd be like, really? They ask.
Like, you saw this baseball from you?
That's
definitely.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Okay, so I mean, and I know the season hasn't started yet.
Right.
Right. So is there anything that you're looking forward to, or things that you want to kind of like any goals that you have set out that you want to accomplish during the season?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think a big team goal for us. I mean, Jesse knows. I know you you got G, everybody. So, but these past couple of years, we've just been really young, like just trying to fight to win games, that kind of thing. Last year, we kind of finally saw the hopes of like being a good team.
Yeah.
And I think we just didn't quite put it together just because we're still battling, being young, being this first time in the situation where we're like, oh, we're winning games. Like, how do we handle it? That kind of thing.
Okay.
And I think this year coming back, we got like mostly the same team. We lost two good like key pieces for us, but it's only 2 guys. We have like everyone else back basically. So I think we're definitely looking to win an Ivy championship. And for the first time, I think it sounds like reasonable.
Reasonable.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
it's kind of like hope. I think it's like an actual goal now. So
Yeah,
Well,
it's doable. That
you could-
like it's definitely
yeah.
doable.
right.
You could also like speak on it, like so to our viewers, obviously, Colombia's men's basketball team went on a 7-game winning streak for the first time, I believe, since the 71 or 72 season.
Which is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
1971.
Almost since the last time the Knicks won a championship, believe it or not,
Yeah, I think
1973.
1973. Exactly. I
Which
don't even think my parents were born yet.
No.
And if they were like babies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
But it goes to show you how far the team has really progressed, like over the
Right.
years. I mean, I remember the year before you got here. Like one of the main things that your coaches were big on was obviously rebounding.
Yeah.
You had what was his name? Pat
Harding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pat Harding.
yeah.
I believe he was like led the league at one point, the Ivy League conference in most rebounds. in
He's
the
an
season.
animal.
So, kind of little talk about like I guess kind of the new guys you have coming on, and how you're kind of forging that team chemistry, and especially building upon last year's success.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think we got 6 new guys,
Right.
so a lot of different guys. Practice has been like a battle in
Intense.
comparison. Yeah,
We've
just
seen the Instagram. Yeah.
Right, yeah, it's been super intense. Like compared to years past, everything. We got 18 guys compared to I think we had like 13 last year. So it's a lot of just very competitive in practice. Everyone wants to play, obviously. So
Right, of course.
You're all
it's
fighting
just
for
super
minutes.
competitive. Exactly.
There you go.
Like, honestly, that's the best environment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
I mean,
Those are the
competition builds character.
right.
So
I would say probably Hotchkiss also prepared you for that, because I would say like I mean like when I was in high school, I mean I came from like a competitive high school in terms of like academics, where it's like everyone's trying to push for like to get an A in the class,
Yeah,
wants to be
yeah.
like the valedictorian at the end of the 4 years, and that's like in your case it's like okay, I got to compete inside my classes, but also now I got to compete not just for my team but also for me to have a spot and a chance to get the
Right.
recognition that I deserve, right?
Right.
believe-
So it's a little bit of a difference, but you know, I would say almost like a big jump from going from what your high school years to now to
Yeah.
postgrad and then now here at Columbia.
I mean, yeah, definitely. But that's part of I think honestly that's probably the part of the game that I love the most for sure. Just competitiveness of it. You know, I feel like it always keeps you wanting more. You know what I mean? In the
Yeah.
sense that we're finally here. It's like we have to actually do it.
Would you say you ever had like a moment where you were like, I guess like at your lowest, where you just felt that like you had like everyone's backs turned against you, and then you kind of just like found that motivation to kind of just keep going, and eventually got to see the light at the end of the tunnel?
I mean, honestly, I think just being here at Columbia, like especially my freshman year, I think like first time being on like a losing team.
Right.
Like you said in high school, like my Hotchkiss team, I think we lost 1 game the
Yeah,
entire
see?
season. Yeah, we were like
Damn.
23-1.
Damn.
Yeah.
My senior year, we were 18-1. We lost in like the semifinals of the state championship in North Carolina.
Wow.
So like coming here, like the first time I was like, dang, like it's hard to win games. Like I'm in college and like these dudes are older. I'm like, what, like 18 years old.
And you're playing against dudes that are like 21, 22.
Right. And nowadays there's some dudes in college who are like 25, 26 just because
Right.
like the transfer portal rules and the COVID year, all kinds of
These
stuff.
I
yeah.
believe we saw
So-
someone at the Memphis and for D1 school. He was like 26 or 27
Bro,
years
yeah,
old
it's-
in D1,
It's
like in March
crazy.
Madness.
No, it's crazy. Yeah, there's some. So we're kind of battling. And I think that year, me and my roommate Zeno, or
Right.
yeah,
Zeno.
my guy, shout out Zeno. But I remember there was times we were coming back on the bus. We lost some games, bro. I'm like, is this like I don't even know if I love this game, bro. Like, dang, like
Word.
we're out here. We're going like every day we're practice. We're going like 2-3 hours hard. You know what I mean? Come out and we're losing games where I'm like, I'm not used to losing like that. So it's like,
That
and not only are we
competitive
losing,
nature.
like we're losing like 20 points, 15 points. Like we're not
Big blowouts, basically.
right.
Yeah,
So like,
there were times, that we had like a few blowouts too.
bro, yeah. So that's definitely probably one of the worst feelings I've had in basketball where I'm like, damn, like this don't even feel good. Like, you know what I mean?
Where do you
So,
find like that motivation to keep going then? So like,
honestly, I think like you said, just like the light at the end of the tunnel, thinking like almost just being able to put it in perspective. Like, look, we're young. Like I think Coach Ingles is big on this too. Like not necessarily using a failure as like, oh, it's a loss. Like beat myself down, but just like learning experience. Like
Absolutely.
each one's just learning experience. And then perspective is just super important. So like being able to like not necessarily rationalize your failures to like get sympathy, but like be like, all right, there's definitely a reason for this to be happening. Let's find the reason. And then like obviously not let it continue to be a reason, but work towards to like get away from that. And I think we did a good job of that. And I think that's why we're in a good position now.
I would say that like I think that it's in moments like that where you realize that you're not saying that you're having a bad day, but rather you're having a character building day. Like it's
Right.
really
That's a good
building
way to
up.
put it, yeah.
It's
True.
really building
For
who you
sure.
are as like a person, and like carving out that mentality to like really push yourself to keep going.
Right.
Because like you said, you could take the easy way out and just, put your name in the transfer portal, go somewhere else.
A lot of guys do know.
And we've seen it countless times again. We've seen a few guys even earlier this past offseason with the Ivy League, right? Especially with the new introduction of NIL deals being presented, right?
Yeah.
But then again, it's like finding that faith in you to kind of like forge the chemistry around your current brothers, right? Because like they're not even just your teammates; they're like it's like your family at this point, your second family.
Spend so much time with those dudes.
You go out with them, you eat with them, like you see them 24/7, even in some of your classes. I'm assuming too, right?
Honestly, yeah, for sure.
So it's like forging that chemistry and I guess that family background, right? And then you just find a way to just keep going. It's like what really fuels you for this upcoming season. I mean, junior year is a very important year. Obviously, right? Not just academically, but also basketball-wise, right?
It's huge for sure. Yeah, it's huge.
And is basketball always been like your number one sport? Have you ever did you have any interest in other sports at all?
Yeah, so my dad's a baseball player.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So like just like high school, different things like that. So like when I was younger, he's always pushing baseball on me.
Okay.
So obviously I played a lot of baseball in the backyard, football. And then basketball, but I feel like me and my brother just always had more fun playing basketball. And my brother was like really good at basketball, which honestly made me want to play just because I'm like, I want to beat him.
Right.
So I think that honestly, it probably played a big part. Is like my brother really likes basketball in comparison to like everything else. So I was like, all right, like I want to be better than him. So let me try to play and that kind of thing. So
does he play? No. Like, is it another college? Did he ever play D1 or anything?
He didn't. I think he could. Like he has he's very talented for sure, but I don't think like his path was definitely a little bit different. Different things. But
so you say you won that sibling rivalry?
I'll never say that. I'll never say that. But if we play basketball, I'll win that rivalry. That's
there
all.
You go. At least you
so you say you got that competitive edge over him just from playing basketball every day then.
For sure. I think like honestly like iron as you know, iron sharpens iron. I think
there you go.
Having a brother like that would beat up on me, never take it easy. So I think like I probably didn't beat him until I was like very honestly like 13, 14. So yeah, so definitely for sure.
How old's your brother?
He's like 2 years or 2.5 years older than me. So he's 22 now.
Oh, so you're the younger brother now.
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've noticed usually like in the NBA, I feel like younger brothers tend to succeed. The older ones,
Maybe,
those that end up all going to the NBA.
Oh, right.
Like you look at just example like Steph Curry and Seth Curry.
Yeah.
Seth is the older one, and Steph obviously.
Yeah.
Arguably the best shooter of all time.
So, I don't even think it's arguably at this point.
Nah, it's got to be.
Everybody wants to say Nigel Johnson still got it, but at least for us, we got to see Steph play. So
well, we even got to see Ray play as well. I mean,
who?
Ray Allen.
Say Ray Allen.
I mean, yes and no, because he was playing during the 2010s. I mean, he wasn't in his super prime.
That's true. People like when he was with the Heat though, he was still
y'all forget that 3-pointer he made over was it Tim Duncan?
That like nobody ever forgets that. Literally. So except especially the people that left before, assuming that they were gonna lose. But it's crazy though. That's dope. You've definitely had a lot of moments in your life to build the person that you are today.
Absolutely.
Right.
And particularly, going with the family, like again, you said your dad played baseball, so he was always into sports, and your brother was always, gave you that competitive edge. What about your mom? Was she ever in the picture?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my mom's a single mom, really. So, always if anyone asks like who's my biggest role model or whatever it is, always my mom.
Yeah.
Like I don't know many people who would like. She basically moved for me. You know what I mean? For more opportunity. Like I don't know too many people who are like willing to uproot their life for their child in a sense. You know what I mean? So, forever. You know what I mean? Always. The most loved my mom for sure. So
we tend to kind of see like a common theme, I think, with like previous episodes where family and sacrifice go hand in hand with one another.
For sure.
Whether that's, in your case, it's your mom moving, basically across the entire United States. I mean, New Mexico and North Carolina are nowhere near each other on the map. And I think that it goes to show you how far love for your child can go.
For sure, yeah.
We tend to see it all the time. I mean, I spoke about this in like my first episode with like my mom. Like, I got to see it firsthand with her mom. Like the sacrifice she would make as a daughter with giving back to her mom, and then her doing it in coalition with me. Like that's like a lot already. And then in your case with basketball and, having a sibling too,
Right.
that adds, an extra variable to the equation. So I think that always giving thanks, shout out to all the moms out there.
Real. Real.
Y'all are goats.
Without you guys, there would be no us. Let's put it that way.
Real.
Y'all are the foundation.
It could be a good little Mother's Day clip for later. With
Yes,
the fire.
there we go. Shout out to all the moms watching. But yeah, so obviously, you've seen a lot of recent success recently from last year. Came just a little bit short, right, of a playoff spot. So what would you say is like a little bit different going to this season now? Kind of analyzing, obviously, you have a new pool of talent on your roster, but also you've seen a lot of these other guys leave and, Yale, Harvard, some of these other schools, they have different talent as well. What's the mentality kind of going in when you're analyzing conference play and kind of preparing for non-conference play in the meantime?
Right. I mean, I think the biggest thing is to focus on like now, you know what I mean? Just one step. I think for the first time, like we said, we're in a position where we can do that. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're in a powerful spot in comparison to usually we're just chasing people.
Right.
I think now we have a little bit more respect. Like I said, I was in China with some other guys from our league, like a couple kids from Harvard, a couple kids from Penn.
Okay.
And even just hearing them talk about like us with respect for the first time, like they're like, nah, like you guys are gonna be good. Like they're like, you know what I mean? Like it's a different kind of feeling than comparisons like say my freshman or my sophomore year where like people don't give you that respect. They're kind of like, oh, it's like, yeah, we're playing Columbia tonight. You know what I mean? Like it's not like
it's not something to really like kind of do your homework on it.
Exactly.
Right.
In a way.
So
now you really now they kind of have to study.
Right.
They have to pay attention.
So exactly. So we have that respect now. So I think for us, it's just in our power to be the best possible version of ourselves. And I think it just comes from, like we said, we're going hard right now. And I think we just need to continue to do that until the first scrimmage and then second scrimmage and then first game. And then from there,
Especially now that, the non-conference play schedule's out. And so obviously you got a lot of big teams now, right? Villanova, Rutgers upcoming in November. Yeah. So that'll definitely, would you say that kind of like gives you kind of a good preparation for conference play when you're playing against like these Big Ten schools?
Definitely. I mean, when you're a kid and like I said, when I'm like a 10-year-old kid sleeping in my bed, I'm watching basketball on TV. Like I'm dreaming that I could play like, these teams, do whatever. So it's like, when you think about it in that perspective, you're like, damn, like I actually made it in the sense where I wanted to be 10 years ago. I'm looking like I'm playing on the court where I wanted to be. So just looking at it with that, just feeling grateful for that. So, and just attack it, you know what I mean? Make the best situation of it for sure.
And would you say like looking ahead, looking into the future, I mean, it's kind of cheesy, but as they say, like, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I think definitely want to play professionally at some point in my life.
Specifically NBA or else?
Highest level possible is where I can have fun. I think I want to exhaust basketball to the point where I'm able to like retire from the game and be like, I'm done. Like it's not fun anymore. Like I'm not loving this and I'm not there yet. Obviously I'm still having a lot of fun with it, still love it. So whether it's overseas, whether it's, G League, NBA, who knows?
Yeah.
Obviously just take it day by day and just make the best of it, and then whatever opportunities present itself.
I mean, the sky's the limit at the end of the day. The sky's the limit for you. Is there any teams that you're going to be playing this season that you are looking forward to playing against? Whether it's just like love for it or just like that competition that brings?
I think a lot of the teams I think like me and Coach Carberry, one of our coaches, we were talking about it in the office. I think right now our team has a lot of like get back. You know what I mean? Like we got beat up. Like we got beat up on when we were young. So it's like now we played Rutgers this year. Our freshman year, that was my first ever college game. Was Rutgers.
Or my sophomore year.
Yeah. First ever college game, and we got blasted. We got beat by like 40. Didn't know what to expect.
It was like bad after the first half.
Yeah.
Let's put that
So like we didn't know what to expect, and it wasn't good. So you know what I mean? So I think going back to play them just to see how far we've come, I think will be exciting. And then obviously all the teams in our league, I think will be exciting to play.
Don't forget, we also have a transfer now from Rutgers.
Right.
What's his name? Dan?
Dan Vesey.
So that'll be interesting, him playing against his former team. Right?
We've been talking about it a lot. For sure.
It's a good story. So, storyline plot. And
there you go.
To hype it all up.
Well, main character energy.
Right. It'll be good. I know he's gonna be hyped. He's gonna be really hyped for that game. I know he is. So
So you would say that you're kind of like in your revenge tour in a way.
In
You're going to your revenge tour.
In a way, this is the revenge story. In a way,
All right, well, you gotta get your get back, bro.
we gotta get our get back.
So all the conference players watching this, be careful for Kenny Noland.
All right,
He's
here we
coming.
go.
He's coming.
He's got his eye on y'all. So be careful. If y'all don't watch out, he's gonna gut you. He's gonna get got. He's gonna get got. Okay. Is there any place that like, they can check you out? You mentioned you have Instagram. If you want to shout it out.
Yeah, Instagram, Kenny X Noland. Besides that, I'm not a big social media guy, so you know.
We'll also have the official page for the Columbia University men's basketball team down in the description, so you guys could check him out, watch Kenny play live. But other than that, so what are your other interests? You know, obviously basketball is the main role in your life right now,
Sure.
and growing up as well. But can you describe like what you do, like I guess like off the court, whether that's academically or kind of like any clubs you're a part of?
Yeah, so like you said, like 5 years from now, I always try to think, you know, ahead of the game in a sense. And I think being in Columbia has influenced me. I mean, we were just talking about it beforehand, but like all the people who are in finance. So I say partly influenced in the sense that I think after basketball, I want to try my hand at finance, whatever it is. So outside of basketball now, I'm working to try to get an internship for this following summer.
Recruiting is already out now.
Right. So already in the process of interviewing and all that different stuff. So hopefully just land a good spot. And then hopefully be able to, you know, after graduating here, being able to play overseas, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then set up something with an internship where I have a job to come back to. It's ultimately the goal. So.
Right. I mean, it's important to have kind of like not necessarily like just a plan B, but also
right.
In other words, also a safety net.
Right.
Because sports, while it can definitely pay well if you do great, it can be very exciting, very fun. Just like one injury.
Exactly.
It's that one injury that puts you out for however many months or years.
For sure.
And you go from the talk of the town to literally being a ghost town.
You know, right. Yeah.
So,
sure.
So yeah. I mean, does that ever come to your head about like, you know, when you play, like how you try to take care of yourself while you play or even when you practice to prevent you from getting any potential major injuries?
I mean, yeah, definitely.
What do you do?
I think coming to college, like the first time that I realized like taking care of your body is definitely important.
Mm-hmm.
We have a training room and like it's fully staffed all the time, whether it's ice baths, contrast, different like deep tissue, soft tissue massages, different things, just to keep your muscles good. Stretching after practice, which I never did.
Yeah.
Growing up, you know, you're just a young kid, you just jump out there.
Yeah. Somebody get better, you ready to go.
Nah, thinking back to some of the stuff over here, like in like middle school, jumping down from like super tall jungle gyms, just landing in like a squat position, like I'm good. Like I don't.
Yo, keep doing that, and one of these days your knees are gonna buckle.
That's what I'm saying. If I did it now, I'd probably die. So.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, definitely all that stuff for sure. Just try to keep your body good position, all that different things. So
and the mind as well. Don't forget.
Oh, the mind.
That's the most important thing.
There you go.
Yes.
Real the mentality.
The most important thing.
You definitely need to have, as I say, that mind-body connection, right?
Right.
And
it's very important.
Apart from that physical attribute, it's all about how you work yourself up here. Because a lot of times, your biggest enemy is yourself.
Oh yeah.
So you need to learn how to kind of, in other words, like fight those demons.
Yeah.
And find that way to get out of that space.
Definitely.
That's telling you like no. When in reality, you know that you can push yourself 10 times harder than what your mind is saying.
100%. Yeah. Definitely.
I think there's also another thing that kind of comes to mind is also whether it's in basketball or academics or in your internships, it's like you always thinking about what's the end goal. That's like having that image right in the back of your head is like it's like your tunnel vision. That's kind of like what blocks out all the doubts. Because like you said, you're gonna have your moments where you're like, yeah, this is a tough day.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just a tough day. This is a tough team. Or I didn't get that internship I really wanted. I didn't do as well in that interview. Maybe I missed a few shots and maybe the game could have gone a certain way.
Right.
It's like moments like that where you're like, but there's still time, right? There's still momentum. And it's like your boy Noah said, dale gas. Keep going.
Give it
gas.
Give it gas.
Just keep going.
Dale gas, yes.
You just got to keep pushing because eventually, if you put your mind to it, anything can happen. So.
Honestly, yeah, for sure. Write the steps out and just try to tackle it day by day.
You journal by any chance?
I actually started recently this year.
Journaling is great.
I have actually.
Journaling is great.
It's a great way to put the thoughts to paper.
Yeah.
The first time actually, yeah.
How'd you feel about it?
I think it is like I was reading a book, it's like about like a sports psychologist who works with like different golfers and NBA players and different things. and just talks about the mental side of the game. And just being able to write down like not only like positive things, like because like you said, like your biggest, especially if you play like anything competitively or you're trying to get all these internships are hella super competitive.
Absolutely.
You got to remind yourself like you do belong in a sense. You know what I mean? So all that different things, and also just writing out, like you said, goals, the way that you get to the end. You know what I mean? Rather than like, oh, there's just this big goal, just the little things that are gonna get you there, and just being able to recognize that. I feel like for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I've been journaling. I would say for like more than a year now or something like that.
Wow, okay.
And like, yeah, it honestly, it's one of those things where like you don't think it's gonna help.
Yeah.
But the more and more you do it, and the more you kind of like give yourself to that book that you write, it really opens your like. It really like it's a good stress reliever
for sure
in a way, because like you could just just writing down your thoughts and being able to have that space in that little booklet to just say whatever you want freely. It definitely keeps keep yourself level headed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's powerful for sure.
I think also one of the main things that I've kind of realized is I've been journaling for about maybe 2 years now, and one of the main things I realized is putting it not just a pen and paper, but you write things in the present tense.
Yeah.
So it's like instead of like the goal is I will be, or like I want to be. It's like this will happen, or it's like I am an NBA player. Like you write it out like that. It changes your whole perspective on the way you outlook life. Like I have my morning and night routine is literally first thing I do in the morning. It's like, I do my prayers, open up my Bible, and then straight to journaling. It's like, all right, what are the goals for the day? What are the 3 things I'm grateful for? And it's like, boom, just put it right to pen and paper.
Right.
You put that like that, boom, everything just changes. Your whole day starts out on a positive note because you're already putting yourself in that perspective to say, okay, this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then even if it doesn't, I'm still prepared for what's to come next, right? You're setting yourself up for either the success or the consequences, but it's the mentality that matters that carries you through. So
yeah, I like that for sure.
Highly recommend for both of you.
OD.
But yeah, I think that's what it's all the time we have left, right?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah,
time flies when you're having fun, man.
Bro.
Yeah. This is amazing. I mean, do you have anything to say? I don't know.
Just appreciate you guys for having me, man.
Of course, man.
Get some knowledge from y'all. Give some knowledge to the camera. It's a good day. It's a good day in my books.
Okay, we really appreciate you for coming on, sharing your story. It's very inspirational to see the amount of sacrifice you and your family have both put in to kind of come from New Mexico to North Carolina to Hotchkiss, and now here playing Division I basketball at Columbia. It's very inspirational to say the least. So, pleasure for having you. To our viewers watching, if you want to watch Kenny Noland play this fall and this spring on Columbia University's men's basketball team, be sure to check out the link in the description down below. We'll have Kenny's Instagram as well, so you can check him out as well. And yeah, what do you guys play on? ESPN Plus, right?
Yeah, ESPN Plus.
So check out Columbia University's men's basketball team on ESPN Plus. Schedule will be also in link in bio. And Rafi, you have any last words?
As always, define all the odds. All right, it's your boy Rafa. Right there is Jesse.
It's your boy Jesse signing off.
Again here, Kenny, and as always,
defy all the odds.